So we want to receive the post array in cookie underscore save.php. But before we do that, we need to make cookie underscore save.php. So let's go ahead and do that. We go to Aptana and we're going to say file, new from template, PHP. We'll go to blank file. And every PHP file starts with a caret numbers question mark PHP and ends with a question mark caret. So yeah, the first thing that we want to do is make sure that we save the session variables that we've been using and that we will be using throughout our web application that tells us about the user, right? So the most important thing is the ID, because that allows us to get into the database and make sure we're at the right place in the database to make changes and get data from. And then the second important thing is the username, so that we can print that out onto the screen whenever we need to. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll say session underscore start. That's going to make sure that this file here is able to access the session variable. And then we're going to save the session ID into a variable called ID. So we'll say ID $_ session. And I believe it's called ID, right? And then we'll do the same thing with user. So that's the session. User. So we have our ID here, and then we have our username here. The ID refers to the number in the database that this user's data is held in. And now what we need to do now is we need to come over here. When we hit submit, it's going to go to cookie.save.php, and then this value here, which is 0, but we're going to change that later using JavaScript, is sent to the post array under the name cookies. So it's going to be cookies sub post is going to have this value. Then cookies sub CSP is going to have this value. Right? So we need to receive that over here. And by receive that, I mean save it in a variable that's easier to use. Okay, so we'll say $cookie is equal to $_ post sub cookies. I believe that's right. So let's come back over. Let's come back over here, and the name is cookies. Yes. So that's what I need to put here, cookies, and we're saving it in this variable. And then you're going to keep on doing that, right? So we're going to say $CPS is equal to $_ post sub CPS, and so on as we work our way down the different hidden inputs in our form. Okay. So why don't you go ahead and do that, and then once you're finished, you're going to say File, Save As. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm on the wrong one. I'm over here. I'm going to say File, Save As, and we want to make sure the file name is the same one that's listed as the action in the form, and that is cookie underscore save.php. Make sure you're in the right project name, and then we'll hit save. And there we go, right? Oh, okay, so we're missing that semicolon there, and then I'll save that, and we're ready to go. So why don't you go ahead and create all the other variables that are going to store the post information coming from the Cookie Clicker application, and then I'll meet you at the next task.